got a river of life flowing out of me. Helps me see the light, makes my path clear to see. Opens up my heart, lets my soul fly free. I've got a river of life flowing out of me. Spring up a well within my soul. Spring up a well and make me whole. Spring up a well and give to me that life abundantly. I've got a river of peace throughout all of me. Helps me walk the talk, be all that I can be. Opens doors for me, I'm unlimited, I'm free. I've got a river of peace throughout all of me. Spring up a well within my soul. Spring up a well and make me whole. Spring up a well and give to me that peace abundantly. Rivers of love flowing within us. Beautiful and pure, they are glorious. Like treasures told, they are measureless. We've got rivers of love flowing within us. Spring up a well within my soul. Spring up a well, make me whole. Spring up a well and give to me that love abundantly. Spring up a well within my soul. Spring up a well and make me whole. Spring up a well and give to me that love abundantly, that peace abundantly, that life abundantly.
All right. Sounds good, doesn't it? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to a beautiful Father's Day. It is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to everybody. It's a beautiful Sunday morning to celebrate the good that is our life. You know, one of the things that I have not actually said from this position is the vision of Unity of Tucson. I wanted to share that with you. We envision a place of peace, beauty, and power where spiritual principles are taught and practiced with an ever-growing and dynamic congregation. And I believe we are ever-growing, we are dynamic, and so let us step up and dance to this opening song. Everybody get up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody get up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody get up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, Yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. All right. Oh, what a good way to get the blood pumping on a Sunday morning. Get up and going. And yes, yes, yes. So good morning. Welcome to this beautiful Sunday morning. We are here to allow ourselves to work together to spread love by knowing that we are love. We are celebrating the good by knowing that we are good. Let us celebrate truth by knowing we are truth. And in that truth, we can be and we are a beacon of light. We are a spiritual community here at Unity of Tucson, teaching practical tools for a better life. And I guess if anyone is new, I should also let them know, I'm Reverend Jonathan Zenz. If this is your first time checking it out, I'm Reverend Jonathan Zenz, the senior minister here at Unity of Tucson, and I have a lot of energy. I don't know if you've noticed that. Yeah. You know what? I think, I'm expressing the energy of love and light, which is what I think we should all be doing, and it doesn't have to be quite so bombastic, but you know what? Allowing that energy to well up from within. It is my belief that we can precipitate our own spiritual evolution. That's what I stand for, is the concept of spiritual evolution, that we are consistently unfolding ourselves in more magnificent ways every single moment by knowing who we are, by knowing that we are that infinite presence and power of a creative life force. Let's begin with the understanding of the words of our mission here at Unity of Tucson. As they come up, we can read this together. Within the principles of unity, we are a ministry of love, inspiration, learning, wholeness, acceptance, and joy that empowers all people to embrace their divine nature. Yes, and the mission is a practical way to engage that vision that I spoke of. I believe personal transformation is possible, and in fact, it is probable, and it is our work to awaken to our magnificence. Everything we do, everything here, everything I offer is in service to this idea, to this goal. The tenets of this vision for me and my ministry are simple, and I share them with you, and you get to decide how easy they are for you to engage, because they are simple, but are they always easy? They are these: love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. And in remembering who you are, I know a truth about you, and it is that you are love, you are light, you are life, you are magnificent. So celebrate your magnificence and celebrate the magnificence of everyone who is sharing with you in this virtual paradigm today. I would love for you to reach out on the chat, type in some messages of affirmation, and express to the others who are watching with you that you recognize their magnificence, and do so in your own unique, individualized fashion. And I do want to say to those who are, to our skeleton crew who are helping out, making sure that this is all happening here and that we are able to come to you virtually, I want to say I see you, grateful for you, and I know that you are magnificent. Of course, you are so magnificent, this beautiful band here, grateful to have you here. As those messages of love and light go out, let us acknowledge that we are a family. We are a magnificent family. A family of love, a family of spiritual principle. Every single person who is engaged in this practice here today, right in this moment. And whether you're watching live or you're watching on the replay, you are engaged in this moment. I recognize you as the magnificence that you are. I recognize you as part of this infinite spiritual family, and I am grateful for you. As we settle into a moment of quieting, a moment of meditation or centering, I'm going to invite you to allow yourself to take in this month's mantra. And if you'd like to use it as a or this month's affirmation. If you'd like to use it as a mantra, this month's affirmation, I encourage you to do so if that works for you. The affirmation this month is this: I take purposeful and loving action in every aspect of my life, no matter what. I take purposeful and loving action in every aspect of life, no matter what. Allow yourself to sit with that idea. Let it resonate in whatever way it will. Let it be impressed upon your subconscious to flow forth into creation as the out-picturing of your life. I take purposeful and loving action in every aspect of life, no matter what. Let yourself be with that. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Right here in this perfect moment, in the moment of stillness, I allow myself to resonate with this truth that there is only one infinite power, one presence. There is only one source of all life. There is only one life force energy. There is only one creative energy. It is God. I recognize and know that God is expressing itself by means of all creation, and this is who and what each and every one of us is. We are the expression of a loving presence, living its life, calling it our own, understanding the magnificence of it through our own activity. For there is absolutely no separation. We are that which is. We are this infinite presence and power. For there is nothing separate, for if there were, it would be finite, and there is nothing but infinite life force presence. This God source, this God energy is magnificently knowing itself and expressing itself in everything that is. And so I trust and know that it is knowing itself as pure, perfect potential for each and every one of us. We are the potential of magnificence and life and love. And this potential unfolds itself in our experiences. Every experience we have is an experience of this loving force, this life force energy. And so it is with deep gratitude that I simply allow the magnificent flow of the divine as life itself. I step out of the way and I trust wholly, perfectly, wholeheartedly in this loving presence. And as I do, I simply let it be. I release, let go, allow, trust, and know. And so it is. Amen. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know. Laura, greetings to you. Good morning. Grateful to have you here to help with this ritual we're engaged in every week called Lighting the Flames of Faith. In this ritual, what we are doing is we are honoring the faith traditions, the religious ideologies, and the spiritual paths of the entire world, and recognizing and affirming that each and every one of them is rooted in that beautiful, magnificent golden thread of love. And so that is what we know for each candle that we light, representing these particular paths that we refer to today. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the divine will of love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light a candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them, and for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony. And this final candle we light is a candle which represents the healing of any circumstance which requires divinity to be revealed, for that is the true nature of healing. The revelation of the divine creative source, the essence, the God, at the core of all creation, all experience. And so this candle is your candle for whatever is in your mind and in your heart that requires illumination. Thank you. The candle here to your left is the peace candle. And we keep the peace candle consistently illuminated with this understanding, that it represents the consistent illumination of peace in our hearts. And as we recognize individually that illumination and allow that to be the point of view from which all things unfold in our lives, we represent peace, we express peace, and peace becomes the expression of the entire world. And so let's honor this candle by sharing together the prayer for world peace. Divine love indwells each person and radiates from one to another. Harmony is established, and peace begins to reign in the world. Well, it is Father's Day, and it has become a tradition of mine. I do like some traditions. I don't, throw everything out every year, but there is a tradition that I have sung this particular song on Father's Day for many, many years. It's one of my favorite songs that speaks to the relationship of not just fathers and children, but also the divine nature of allowing ourselves to release sometimes, which is necessary. So this is the hardest part of love from the musical, it is a musical, from the musical Children of Eden by Stephen Schwartz. Oh, this son of mine I love so well, and oh, the toll it takes. I would give to him a garden and keep it clear of snakes. But the one thing he most treasures is to make his own mistakes. Oh, he goes charging up the cliffs of life, a reckless mountaineer. I could help him not to stumble, I could warn him what to fear. I could shout until I'm breathless, but he'd still refuse to hear. Oh, but you cannot close the acorn once the oak begins to grow. And you cannot close your heart to what it fears and needs to know. That the hardest part of love is the letting go. As a child I found a sparrow that had fallen from its nest, and I nursed it back to health till it was stronger than the rest. But when I tried to hold it, it pecked and scratched my chest till I let it go. And I watched it fly away from me with its bright and selfish song. And a part of me was cursing I had helped it grow so strong. And I feared it might go hungry, and I feared it might go wrong. Oh, but I could not close the acorn once the oak began to grow. And I could not close my heart to what it fears and needs to know. That the hardest part of love is the letting go. And it's only in Eden grows a rose without a thorn. And your children start to leave you on the day that they are born. They will leave you there to cheer for them. They will leave you there to mourn ever so. Like an ark on uncharted seas, their lives will be tossed. And the deeper is your love for them, the crueler is the cost. For it's just when they start to find themselves is when you fear they're lost. Oh, but you cannot close the acorn once the oak begins to grow. And you cannot close your heart to what it fears and needs to know. That the hardest part of love and the rarest part of love and the truest part of love is letting go. So, as I said, I sing this song every Father's Day. I allow myself to, let this be a guiding song in terms of whatever the message is that's coming up through me. And the message changes every year in terms of my relationship to the song, what has happened over the course of the year, and how I am in this current experience. You know, because we're constantly in that state of change. I talk about the nature of spiritual evolution, that we are in a constant state of evolving ourselves. And I believe that all physical evolution starts with spiritual evolution. And so I'm always in a different place every time I sing this song. So, you know, why this song? What comes up for me this year with this song is that the significance that it has had over the years is the notion that we cannot hold on to anything. We cannot hold on to anything in some ways without, you know, perhaps suffocating it. We cannot, you know, but it's hard, right? It's hard to let go. It's hard to allow ourselves to move past a paradigm that may or may not be in service to our current experience of life. So the question that I start with today is, what is it right here and right now? What is it that we are holding on to? What is an old paradigm we are holding on to that we are considering has relevance in our current experience? Because here's what it is. It only has relevance because we give it relevance. We give those things relevance in our current experience. A lot of the work that I bring to the concept of my ministry is letting go. It's about letting go of those things that do not serve and allowing ourselves to be in alignment with the infinite truth, which is love. It's all I'm ever talking about. It's love. Love, light, life, peace, power, beauty, wisdom, all of those attributes of the divine creative nature that is God and it is who and what we are. So what are the things that we need to let go of to allow the divine circuits to flow forth into our experience? The first talk I gave here last year when I was a guest speaker, if you were around for that, it was actually rooted in this concept of setting down the myriad things that we have picked up in our lives that may or may not be serving us anymore. If you remember, I had a bag and I went and I had all these books and I put them all in the bag and I lugged that bag around and I said, you know, that bag will begin to weigh us down and there may come a point where we look in that bag and we say, this no longer serves, and allow ourselves to set that down. It's a constant experience of life to allow ourselves to be on that path of setting down that which no longer serves. And the hardest part of this experience and expression of love sometimes is the letting go. And stepping back once we've let go of those things. Oh, you know what? It frees us up to the work that will change our lives. The work of mattering. You'd be thinking, what? What do you mean? Mattering, what does that mean? It is deepening into understanding that we matter. Deepening into the matter of the significance of our lives, the significance of the fact that we are present on this plane of action, that we exist. That is what I mean by mattering. Sometimes we need to let go of the things that keep us from remembering that we matter. Things that we hold on to so tightly. So tightly. And we value those things. And we continue to value those things. And I can look at things in my life that I believe are of value. But oftentimes those things are separate, seemingly separate from the truth of my being. And I've taken them on because they provide a level of comfort for me. And so that's another reason why we can't let things go sometimes, because it is saying we have to be willing to let go of things that allow us to be comfortable. The level of comfort within which we live is challenged by letting go of some things. So what are the things we value? What are the things we value, and why do we value them? Why do we value them? Now, I have a particular value that I have attributed to my spiritual path. And there are people who follow, well, I don't want to sound, well, you know, there are people who follow me as a minister. Well, if there weren't, then I wouldn't be here. So let's just call it that. There are people who follow me as a minister and have decided that I am the person, the primary one of the primary people in their lives from which they would like to have spiritual revelation spoken to them. And the challenge of arriving at a unity church is that there are expectations of people in a unity church around the way I will present the things which they value, and are they or are they not in alignment with the things which I value. And I've brought in another community who have a particular idea of the things which they value. And so we all have this experience that we come to with great expectations. And today what I'm going to say is, let us forego all of those expectations. Let's set all of those expectations down and see what we are left with. I have found that when I set those things down, when I set down those expectations, when I set down the things I think I perceive as having value in my life, what I am left with is the only thing of value in my life, and that is the spiritual truth. And there's one spiritual truth from which all experience springs forth, and that is this notion. We are divinity. We are divine creative life force. We are the energy of God. We are God expressing at all times. And if I let go of any expectations for what that looks like, I open myself up for the perfection of that flow in the experience of my life. So what are the expectations, perhaps? Where did I accept those expectations? Where did I accept them as my truth at some point? And do I have the willingness now to let go? I challenge myself every day. There's a challenge that I face every day because I speak spiritual truth every day. I utilize affirmative prayer in my life every day. I do so in a public manner by going live on Facebook and doing a spiritual affirmative prayer. And I have an expectation of what I think that should be like and how that should be experienced and how that should be expressed. And do I have the willingness to let go of what I think I know? Because here's the challenge. I always come to the end of the prayer, and my inclination, because of the embodiment of training that I've had, is to end the prayer with the words, "and so it is," which is the paradigm in the religious science branch of New Thought, which is where I was born, and it's not where I was born, but it is the path which I had taken, and now I'm in a unity church which utilizes the word amen. Now here's the thing about amen and so it is. They mean exactly the same thing. There's no difference in meaning, it's just amen is in a different language. And so we had taken into our expression in religious science, the religious science part of the New Thought philosophy, to just say, we can say, and so it is, and that is it, and so it is. And so that's my paradigm. Do I have a willingness to lay that down and to engage in the paradigm that works for this community? Yes, why not? It doesn't negate any of the spiritual work that I'm doing. In fact, perhaps it opens me up to a different way of being that is necessary for my own spiritual evolution. And that's the key, is that if I am allowing myself to set down the expectations of what I think is, I then unlimit myself to have the experience of spiritual evolution. So, what are your expectations? What are your expectations? Do you have a willingness to let the perceived significance of those matters that are rooted in your expectation, do you have a willingness to let those things decline? Because I have found that when we let go, we find greater freedom. Let go of the conscious ideas that limit you. Today is the day. Today is the day. I had conscious ideas that limited me. You ready? I had a story of shame. I had a story of shame that I carried with me for a very long time. Very long time I had this story of shame. And I lived my life with these particular thoughts at the forefront of that story of shame. What would it mean to me if people knew the truth about me? How would my peers react? Would they treat me differently? And would it be worth it for me to come out? What I came to discover was that living my truth was more important than hiding away, and so I came out. Now, you might be thinking I'm talking about my identity in the LGBTQ community, but that's actually not what I'm talking about. My coming out was coming out as a spiritual person. And there were expectations within particular communities of which I was a part that you could not reconcile being spiritual with being a part of that community. There were challenges within that. And so I had to finally let go of those expectations that I had embodied within myself and come out as a spiritual person. And boy, has it changed my life. It was shocking. It was shocking for many in my circle. And I'll tell you, there were people who, when I started to let people know I was becoming a minister, they would say, "You?" Like, literally, like such disbelief, right? It was so shocking for those people in my circle, not because of who I was, but because of the ideas and the expectations that they carried. But as I accepted those ideas as my own, I found myself experiencing that shame. So I had to learn to let go. I had to learn to let it go. I had to choose to accept that I matter. And it does not matter one iota what anyone else thinks of me. I had to choose to accept that I am significant in this world. But no more significant than anyone else. We are all equally significant. And the reason that I know that is because we exist. We matter. That is the matter of significance. I chose to accept that love was the only thing that mattered in my life. And the proliferation and expression of love was the only thing that mattered in my life. Love was the matter of significance. Love, not that limited idea of romantic love, not even that limited idea of love among my peer group or my friends, but love, the infinite understanding of self-givingness. The giving of myself over to the purpose of creation. And so everything that flows forth from my experience is rooted in that idea that I am an embodiment and activity of love in this world because I actively engage in creation. Emerson wrote that love is a synonym for God. And so, to know my God self, for any one of us, to know our God selves is to act accordingly. Love is the most significant thing there is. The container that we wrap around that idea of love does not matter as much as the consciousness behind it. Because the container, any container we create in our life for the purposes of experience of life is changeable. The consciousness is infinite. The mind, the idea, the love behind any limitation is infinite. That consciousness is infinite. And so, we have this experience of life, and I'm not going to deny I'm having an experience where I perceive myself in some fashion in a limited manner. If I did not perceive myself or experience or express myself in a limited manner, I would have no corporeal body. I would have no body. So we develop these containers on the infinite level to have experiences of life. And how great is that? We create these boxes, we create these limited ideas, all in order to contextualize the experience of God as us, so that we can have an experience. And we are all living our most magnificent, unique lives. Some people will not recognize and know that irrespective of the circumstances or the experiences in their life, that all of it is magnificent because it is all the outflow of the infinite divine presence. But that idea also is a big challenge. It's a challenge that we are all having our own unique lives. And I'll tell you why it's a challenge, because I may not agree with your unique expression of life. We don't all agree all the time, right? That's okay. It's a challenge and a blessing. The blessing for me is this understanding that it keeps me personally, and perhaps you can take this on for yourself, it can keep us curious if we allow it, if we don't shut ourselves off to it. I am by nature curious. I want to know more. I want to embody more. I want to express more. And the way that I do that is to stay in circulation with life, as life. So are you staying curious? That's another good question today. Are you staying curious? Can you express that curiosity freely, knowing at all times that you are protected? Because I think that's one thing that diminishes the experience of allowing our curiosity to take over, is that we feel like, oh, it is a potential for disaster. We can make mistakes. We can make mistakes. You know what? There is no such thing as a mistake. There is only the perfect outflow of creation. We're the ones who decide that some experience of our life is a mistake. So can you express your innate and inherent curiosity freely, knowing that you are always, always protected? Where does that protection come from? The protection for me is a deepening into the understanding that there is only one power and presence. And that irrespective of the limitations I am experiencing in my life and as my life, that I am that infinite power and presence, as are we all. Today is Father's Day. And I want to talk about the Father, not as a noun, but as a verb. Because to father means to treat with protective care. To treat with protective care, to deepen into the expression and experience that we are always protected. Funny, the definition of father in that context also seems a lot like mother. To treat with protective care. You can father and mother, to nurture and protect. So let's remove the gender constructs and remember that the nature of God is not gendered. God is love. God is that infinite power and protection. That God love shows up as the highest frequency of care, of kindness, of protection, of nurturing. There is an infinite life force energy seeking expression. And it is expressing through our thoughts and our activities. Frequently we come to centers and churches and spiritual places seeking that life force, seeking God, seeking love, seeking that thing that is ineffable, because there's no way to accurately describe that thing. We seek those things, and what we come to find is that which we seek is the very thing that has been causing us to seek. It is that innate life force energy. It has many outlets, but there is only one life force. If we open up and we allow the flow free of ego, that's a whole other talk. If we allow the flow free of ego, we find the significance of our lives. We find that we matter. And when we find that we matter, we can truly honor how everyone else in this life experience matters. When we know that we matter and we honor that everyone else matters, we celebrate the unique expressions. There is no need any longer to vilify or to condemn. New Thought gets a bad rap sometimes. New Thought gets a bad rap because we spend so much time talking about the nature of creation and talking about, ultimately that creation is an impersonal activity of God. And so people think that we're letting go of the personal nature and the personal relationship that we can have with and as God. And I say, let us let go of that idea any longer and allow this notion that as the personalization of God, that it can be no more loving and personal than it is that the air against our skin is being experienced. This God, this spirit, this life force, this universal creativity is the most personal thing we can experience. And so God becomes personal to each and every one of us in this paradigm, in this understanding. It releases the flow. It allows us to be free of restriction. We can let go of restrictive ideas. We can let go of restrictive ideas because when we know who we are, we cannot feel threatened. We can let go of restrictive ideas because when we let go, we see the face of God in all. We are, each and every one of us, immersed in and expressing as an omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient beingness. To accept this matter as significant means to give over to trust and allow the life force to work through us. And isn't that what many of us are seeking? We're seeking better lives through spiritual practice. The only answer I can ever give to that is let more of your God out. Let more of your God out. Let go of any notion of limitation. The hardest part of love is letting go of the ideas, the perceptions, the ego-driven limitations, the ideas of othering, the limited ideas of our true identity. Because our true identity is God. We are born of spirit. We live as spirit. We are spirit. We are a matter of significance. And so it is. Amen and namaste. As the band makes its way back up to the platform, I invite you and encourage you to reflect now on a kernel of truth, an idea that has pulled itself up into your acknowledgement that you can walk away with. And let it be fully present in your heart in the here and now. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love. Thank you. I'm going to invite you to acknowledge this period of giving that we are stepping into. And as you determine the best way to make your gift to Unity of Tucson, whether it be online,
by going to our website at unitytucson.com and clicking the links there. Whether you phone in your card during regular office hours, Monday through Thursday, 9 until 5:30, send in a check, however you choose to give. Allow yourself to understand it as an acknowledgement of the infinite truth that we are in this magnificent, vast sea of circulation, and that we can keep the circulation flowing. Why do we give? We give because we want to be here. We recognize that giving and receiving are the same, and that money is God in action. And so, bless all that you give. We bless all that you give. Allow yourself to give with love from your heart, and know that it is supporting the magnificent mission and vision of this organization to spread this message of love and light. Let's read together the Divine Givingness Statement, which will magically appear on your screen. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I joyously contribute to my spiritual center, knowing that it goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless, and returns to me multiplied abundantly. I thankfully acknowledge God as my source.
I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself.
Before we go to the announcements, I want to acknowledge through prayer the activity of giving. This came into my email this morning, and it is a prayer for money that was written by the great mystic Raymond Charles Barker. And so I invite you to just take this into your own heart as I read his words. And he wrote this: There is only one creative cause, God. There is only one mind, God. There is only one life, God. There is only one substance, God. This present universe is the glory of God. It is a moving, flexible, fluidic creation. It is alive with a life, the abundance, and the richness of God. I abide in prosperity. Mind created me in order that it might act through me. Therefore, I am receptive to its abundance. I am receptive to its circulation in my life in the form of money. Money is God's idea of circulation in my world of finance. I accept this idea completely. I appreciate this idea. I like it. Money, being God in action, is absolute good. It is wholesome. It is a blessing to all, and I am now prospered with it. I have no fear of lack, for I believe that I have plenty of money. It is God's activity in my world. It is God's activity in my bank account. It is God's activity in my investments. It is God's activity in everything to which I lay my hands. This money is flowing. This money is free. I do not attempt to lock it up. I do not put a fence around it. It is God's money. I let it flow in. I let it flow out. As I release it, I know that it comes back to me, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I am now free in money. I rejoice in it, I appreciate it, and I thank God for it. I have money forevermore, and so it is. Amen. And now, here are your announcements.
Good morning, everyone. Here are your Unity of Tucson announcements for Sunday, June 21st, 2020. Unitix is inviting you to join us for a different kind of Independence Day. Are you craving a social opportunity with your community? Mark Saturday, July 4th on your calendar to join your community for a drive-in fireworks viewing. Park in the Unity parking lot on July 4th. Maintain physical distancing, provide water and your mask, and enjoy the fireworks the city has to offer from our vantage point in the foothills. Bears in the Chairs continues through the end of July. Participate in our annual event to collect new and unwrapped stuffed animals, which we then donate as a community to Aviva, an agency supporting youth as they transition into foster care. While our activities continue to be virtual, you can drop off a stuffed animal during regular office hours. As always, don't forget to join us online for midweek spiritual practice, streaming on YouTube and Facebook. Get your midweek pick-me-up and the reminder of your inner truth every Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Arizona time. Prayer requests are always accepted by sending an email to prayer@unitytucson.com. Don't forget that the activity of requesting what you need is the first step toward healing. The links for all of our virtual offerings can be found at unitytucson.com. Keep an eye out on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube to keep up with everything that is going on. Thank you for being here and sharing your magnificence with us.
Thank you, Darwin, for the announcements. I want to offer my sincere gratitude to Wally and my father. Happy Father's Day, Pop. My father, Don, for your willingness and technical expertise in ensuring that we are proliferating this message in a virtual way to the entire world. Grateful for you. I want to say thank you to Freddie and for being here and for taking on the mantle of the church administrator. And I don't know that it was anything you ever imagined it would be, but I'm grateful that you are here. I want to say thank you to Laura for being here, for holding the consciousness of this experience and for helping light the candles. Always grateful to have you here, Laura. Of course, I want to say thank you to the band, Linda, Raphael, Adam. So grateful to get to play with you every single week. Yeah. And I want to say thank you to all of you for being here, making your presence known, and allowing yourself to have this experience and being in this experience with me. I am deeply grateful for this community, and I do look forward to the day when we get to be in person together again, and I keep praying and trusting and knowing that that day will come sooner than we can even imagine. As we complete our time here, I encourage you and invite you to share with me the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. I am that light. The love of God enfolds me. I am that love. The power of God protects me. I am that power. The presence of God watches over me. I am that presence. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever God is, I am. And so it is. Amen. Now there is peace on earth, for it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, this is my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each
moment in peace eternally. Thank you, God, for peace on earth, for it has begun with me. If you think there's nothing new under the sun, if it's possible, it's already been done. If you think the stage has all been set, think again. You ain't seen nothing yet. The sun'll come up with a wave of your hand. You're smack dab in the middle of the promised land. It all turned out just the way that you planned. Believe it, you will see it. If you think you finally made your bed, there ain't nothing down that road ahead. If you think this is as good as it gets, wanna bet? You ain't seen nothing yet. The sun'll come up with the wave of your hand. You're smack dab in the middle of the promised land. It all turned out just the way that you planned. Believe it, you will see it. Believe it, you will see it. And you ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. And you ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing yet. Make it a magnificent week, everyone.